Taurus, it's Amanda with Inner Ambiance Intuitive Tarot, and I'm going to do your tarot reading for June 2019. I'm going to use the Goliath Tarot for the whole spread this time. So let's just kind of get right into it. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements for June 2019. What is going on for Taurus? What energies and advice can we give Taurus for June? So the King of Wands reverse pop up. That's too many. For the, I'll hold them up soon. For the central message. And the King of Wands is about, he already knows what he wants, but he also now, I think the biggest thing with the King of Wands is that he knows how to make it happen too. Like he already knows, and he knows what to do to make it happen and feels like he can do that, right? And it came out reverse. The glowing white stag is the little side. I don't know, this deck there, it says the name and then there's like a little like metaphor, I guess you could say, that comes out next to it. So the glowing white stag, so it's like you feel like you don't know how to do it. You might know what it is, but you just don't know how you can get it done. You don't know if you are good enough to do it, or if you have it in you, or if you have the energy, or maybe you just literally don't know how to get it, or what to do, what steps to take. And crossing it is the Seven of Cups, which is all about illusion and confusion or just emotional overwhelm. And so let's see what happens next. We have crossing it the Queen of Wands. Root is the High Priestess. Wow. And this one came out for the recent past. So we have the King of Swords reversed, the Father of the Night. Okay, Taurus. So the King of Swords is probably one of the nastier cards to come out upside down. So maybe in the recent past, you have been dealing with somebody who's just been nasty. Maybe they are dealing with something and they've been triggered, or maybe they're just really mentally drained, or just really running from something, and so the things that trigger them have a harsh bite, if you know what I mean. Look at the owl. He's the Father of the Night. He's coming in for the kill, kind of, you know. And Swords is about communication and logic. So it's like in the recent past, somebody's been really nasty to you, or you've been very nasty, okay, to somebody because of being triggered. Somebody who didn't think something through and says something they regret. Like that's what I think of when I think of the King of Swords. Or maybe they really just did something nasty, because it's more of an outward with the King, like an external action, or, you know, communication, or I think it's action. I mean, I hear, but okay, so and then we had the High Priestess. So there's some major arcana here. We have, well, this one is the High Priestess, the Crescent Moon Cat. So this is where this all stems from. Intuition, feeling connected, feeling an inner knowing. Like the things you know, but you can't explain how or why. Like this is intuition that's coming out, the crescent moon. Like this is all coming from you feeling your intuition more, and so it kind of is a seed that starts hatching, and I feel like because of that, you don't know where to go. This was that, I'm gonna turn it up right. This is that King of Wands reverse. You feeling like you might not know what to do next, or how to make it happen, or what steps to get there. Or maybe you just feel like you don't have the energy, or that like you literally don't have the confidence to get it done or to get there. But it's like that inner knowing is just kind of bubbling under you. And emotional overwhelm, like you don't want to do the wrong thing, like you're over like emotional overwhelm, like having too many choices, like feeling like you're gonna pick the wrong one or do the wrong thing, and worried about that. Like that's what's blocking you from being able to really make the steps and see the steps to get what you want with the King of Wands. Like, feel confident about it. Make it happen. Know how to do it. Not just what it is, but how to get there. Like, that's what King of Wands is about. And like, having that passion, it's like all the emotional overwhelm and worry that you're gonna make the wrong decision is kind of confusing that for you right now. And it's all because this, and I feel this already for you, Taurus, like, it's all because there's something blooming in you. There's like a seed in you that has just started to ferment. And I think it's unlocking like some intuition with this High Priestess. And so at first it might be very overwhelming. Queen of Wands in your intention and how you're seeing it, your perspective. That is wanting to know what you want, right? But I feel like, so in this case, since the Queen and the King are here, it's like you obviously aren't going to see how to get what you want if you're so overwhelmed. Like, I think you're trying to hurry along with this, and the thing is that this one came out upright, or I'd say you don't even know what it is yet, so figure out that first. But this is upright, and this is your intention. Like, you know what you want. Like, you already realize it. You might not realize that that's what it is, or maybe you do. But either way, you have the confidence, like, but for some reason, you're expecting yourself to have it when you're so overwhelmed and confused. And I think that this is one of those things where we push that away because it's like, it sucks to be there. And I don't think anybody really likes it. They might know why they're doing it and some don't. But either way, nobody likes to be emotionally overwhelmed and confused, right? Nobody likes that. And I feel like this overwhelm is coming from this King of Swords in the reverse in the recent past. Somebody did nasty to you, said nasty to you, or is acting to you. Like, it's like you feel overwhelmed by somebody being sharp and biting you in a way, like, or maybe there's literally some intuition that you're so confused about that's starting to like bloom in you, and it scares you. It overwhelms you emotionally, and it's too much. And so maybe you kind of like push it away because you just don't know what to do with it. And I think that if this is you, this King of Swords in the recent past, and you did something you regret, or said something you regret, or think a way that you wish you didn't before, whatever it was, if you're not dealing with that and facing that and showing love to that, it's overwhelming you. And if it's somebody else, then whatever somebody said to you or did to you that was nasty, like, is what is overwhelming you. And I think that because you have this new intuition, like, you don't understand what's going on. And so let's keep going here. What's coming up in the near future here for Taurus? What is coming up in the near future? This is, and I knew this right away before I even put the other cards. Like, I pulled the first three and put them where they went. And I knew that this was already going to be one of those where you're in a process right now. Like, this is blooming, and so when it's overwhelming, you might not see that, but this is something that's a seed. It's fermenting in its soil. And in the near future, we have the Six of Pentacles, the sacred white scale. And it's a bull, and he's got scales. Imagine that, Taurus, near future. Six of Pentacles is all about even give and take. Six of Pentacles is about a group of people, but, you know, it seems like it's like a generous card, but it could also be one doing more than the other. But it's still a group effort, okay? And I feel like with the scales on the bull like this, I feel like you maybe in the near future, you might start to balance this out, whether it's within yourself or being able to integrate this new seed with this High Priestess that's blooming, that this is all because of, because this is the root. Like, this is shaking up your world and confusing you, and I think you just got to let this process kind of work in it at its pace, because like I said, this is going to start growing out of the ground soon, and you're going to be able to see better what's going on. It won't be so overwhelming and confusing, and even then it still has growing to do too, but it might help you get along the levels of the process, right? So it seems like, because this came out for you, just because this is a bull in this deck, like, you're gonna be able to kind of get your level ground on this, and I think you're gonna be able to kind of balance whatever this nasty King of Swords is, whether it was just the way you acted and kind of knew it, or, you know, I really feel like it could be somebody else, like somebody said something really messed up, or his act is being really messed up to you, and that mixed with this seed that's trying to grow and sprout, like, internally in you, and in your intuition, like, it's too much at once. Like, you can't handle it, you feel, but you can, and you'll be okay, because you know what you want, and a lot of people go so long without that part. You know what it is you want, okay? You just don't know how to make it happen yet because you're overwhelmed. You're growing with some new and, like, intuitional growth here. It's like you're getting more of that than you're used to, and that mixed with whatever is going on here in the recent past with that King of Swords reverse is going to overwhelm you. And I think that instead of resisting it, like we naturally want to with that kind of energy, like I think that just letting it happen and feeling it, it'll get what it wanted, and it'll start to fade away, right? In a sense, like if you want to look at it like that. But really, it's just you accepting it and integrating it and letting it go, so that you can move on to the next step in this process. And it's like you're gonna level that out on why this nasty thing happened with this person, and you're gonna start being able to understand why there's not necessarily an even give and take, why the support, right? It's like you're going to get the support you need by integrating why you didn't get it, and not running from that overwhelm. And I think that this intuition is going to bloom for you just in time, and you're gonna be able to kind of get your feet on the ground in this and find that stability that you really crave as a Taurus, right? Let's shuffle through this one more time if anything wants to pop out, and if not, we'll cut and pull the rest of the spread. Yeah, I feel like you're gonna get the support that you've wanted, rather than all this confusing emotional overwhelm. Right now, you're dealing with the dark inner swamp with the shadow self. This is that, you know, stuff you don't want to look at. And it kind of ends up with this emotional overwhelm. You're overwhelmed by maybe this intuition seed coming in. It's showing you things you didn't see before. And maybe that's why this person that was nasty to you didn't stick out as much before, but it is now, because you're seeing more to it, and maybe it hurts more, or overwhelms you more, it confuses you more, because you don't understand why this person isn't cooperating with an even give and take, or supporting you, right? And with this confusion or overwhelm, like, that's why. Because it's dark in the shadow. You don't get it yet, but you will, because this is coming in just when it's needed to. It's like divine timing, okay? Because right now you're dealing with the shadow. You're there, though. I mean, sometimes it's hard to even get anybody to face that at all. You're doing that, okay? And I think your intuition has led you to that, because it knows that you need it, okay? You need to integrate that shadow, because there's something in there that you need to go further and fulfill, you know, your passion here, because you know what your passion is. You just don't know how to get it right now, right? So that's what's being blocked. Good news is you do know, and good news is that this is coming in right when it needed to, and it's gonna pull you through. But you know what? you might have to deal with some things that you didn't really want to, and it's gonna suck. But the more you push it away, the more dragged out it's gonna be. But I think that you're half in on this already, and I feel like life's just making you hard. This intuition's coming in right now because it's just trying to make it more difficult for you to continue not to look at it, right? So it's pushing you in to this, and it's weird. This is a lot like the Aries reading, but not the same cards. So strange. Let's see what's going on in your environment here, Taurus. What is going on around Taurus in their environment? Okay, around you we've got the Six of Cups reuniting. All right. And then we have hopes and fears, the Eight of Cups reverse, and the most likely outcome is the Eight of Wands, the meteor shower. So this is getting the information that you've been needing or wanting. This is the seed fermenting, growing, and blooming into whatever it is. It's that communication, and it's funny that it's wands, and the way that it's spread out, it like sprays down towards the middle of the spread, right? Like these meteors. So this is the seed. It's starting to bloom in the root. Okay, the process you're going through, it's gonna end up being success. Like you're gonna get that passion, that answer towards, well, I know what it is I want, but I don't know how to get it. See how it like goes down and the spreads like this. It's like, and they're both wands, okay? Both wand cards. You're gonna get the information, communication, or the memo, whether it's yourself realizing this or somebody communicating this to you or giving you the word on something that you're like, oh, that's a good first step. That's one of the pieces, the stepping stones. That could be a possible path towards what I already know I want, right? You're gonna get that because this is just starting to ferment. This is helping you. It's gonna feel like overwhelming, but you're gonna start to balance that out, okay? You're gonna get your solid ground, Taurus. You're gonna feel that stability again. And once you do, because right now, you have to remember, the shadow is before this level out, okay? Because this is the near future. This is right now, okay? You're in your shadow right now. So of course you're overwhelmed. You've never looked at it. It's been in the dark for how long, right? This is the things that you pushed away for since your whole entire life or even lifetimes. So it's dark. It's gonna be overwhelming. It's all the things you've been putting off, right? And so that's where you are right now. And where your environment is, the reuniting water hole, the Six of Cups, this is like nostalgia. It's like that soul fam, that part of yourself that you find in that shadow is lurking in your shadow, in your environment. But good news is that around you, it's like something from the past is around you, right? Like something in your everyday environment right now, whether it's coworkers, friends, family, lover, whatever, is something that you've been in a past life with, or that you had ties with in the past, in this life, and maybe walked away for a while, but it's coming back. And I think it's an alignment because it's right side up, and I love this card. And it's that reuniting water hole, right? Like coming back to what you had walked away from for so long. Maybe because part of whatever was in the shadow was kind of masking it from you. You know, because with the shadow, it's funny how the shadow works, because when you push parts of yourself away from yourself and don't want to deal with them or heal them, they kind of like take things around the sides of it as they go into the dark, right? Like they take pieces around it and like, you know, take it down with them into the shadow. And like I said, before I even pulled those, like I feel like the reason your intuition is coming in right now is because there's something divine about this that has to like kind of plant a seed so that you can go into that shadow, and your intuition is making it harder for you to stop looking at it, to keep avoiding it. It's gonna make it so it's uncomfortable and overwhelming enough so that you do go into that shadow and you find what it is in there that you need for this, okay? And it might be really unexpected because like I said, when the shadow suppresses, it takes things with it along the way that aren't necessarily what you would think they were, okay? So it could seem unrelated, but whatever it is about it is something that is going to help you move forward and make what you want happen, rather than just knowing what you want and not knowing how to get it done. And it's something to do with somebody from the past, or going back to an environment that was something that you've done in the past. And your hopes and fears are that you're not going to be able to find that cup, or you won't be able to do what it takes because it's going to be hard to go and get it, right? Because the Eight of Cups is about, you know, finding your authentic self, like finding you, you know, not what you think you've been, obviously, because everybody's got a little bit of a onion layers to peel away to get back down to what it really was. And I feel like there's a lot that is in that shadow that you're dealing with right now that you don't want to look at. And I think you might instinctively kind of know you need to, but I think maybe you're just fearing, because this is just a hopes and fears card, okay, that you won't be able to walk away from something that'll be hard in order to do it, which is kind of like the bliss right now in this case, because it's like you don't want to walk away from avoiding whatever it is that wasn't going to feel good because you're already so overwhelmed. I think you're fearing that you won't, but you know, you're hoping that you will, right? Because you have that like intuition like nudging you that you kind of need to do it. You've been putting it off. But the thing is that right now you're in the shadow, you're doing it, you're where you need to be, you're where this has been pushing you, you're doing that now, okay? And that would be why this overwhelm is crossing you, because you're integrating this, right? And you're gonna level it out. And it's gonna come in, you're gonna see which way to go and what to do and what steps to make, okay? So that is so cool, and I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, the bottom of the deck for you was the Karmic Soul Tribe, the family, and that is so weird because, check this out, nostalgia card, the water, the reuniting water hole, the past, something from the past, and the environment, not just that, but also it was in the environment position, and then overall energy is the Soul Tribe card, okay? This is a whale. And, you know, the mama and the baby, right? And it's a karmic soul tribe, the family. Overall energy is, this is trying to push you into something you're not seeing in your shadow that's holding you back from your soul tribe, which I think right now, since this all kind of wrapped together now, I really feel like maybe somebody from the past that you've been pushing away because there's a lot of hurt involved in this, or maybe you had done that and you kind of aren't doing it now, because right now this is in your environment. You are doing it, right? But there's part of it that hurts that you kind of haven't been dealing with that. Whether it's a situation you're in again or a relationship that you're in again, you're doing it, but you're kind of still in the process of integrating whatever shadow lurked around that relationship or person. And so whatever it was in the past that like you're starting to finally kind of go back to, there's something about that soul tribe, or because you're with that soul tribe one day and you wouldn't have been doing that at that place with them that day, or whatever it was, or met somebody through them or them themselves, that's where the information is going to come from. That's where your guidance, that's where your direction is going to be, where when it comes to this central topic of, well, I know what I want, but how do I do it? Like, what do I really got to really do physically? Like, what steps it is? That is where the information is. It's hidden in the shadow that right now you're doing it, okay? Something in there is going to help you reunite something that it was hard to do before, and your soul tribe is going to be what brings you that direction and the pointer for where to go to get this done, because you already know what it is. This is great. I liked this reading. I love this deck. I love this reading. I love you guys. And I hope you love this reading too. I hope it resonated. I hope to help some of you. And if it did, please tell me what's going on here. And I really am interested. I do want to pull one card here just because this King of Swords at reverse is, it's just the only one that's sticking out to me. Who or what is this King of Swords in the recent past for Taurus? What more can I learn about this? What does this have to do with? Oh, I mean, I think I know what it is actually now that I start shuffling, but we'll see just in case. It's like I don't even need to pull the card, right? It's like it pops in my head. I believe that it's whatever past relationship or situation that you're starting to kind of ease towards again. Whatever it is, it's the recent past. It's that King of Swords, it ended bad. Or whatever happened around it that forced you to shove part of it down into that shadow, right? Like, it's what's overwhelming you about it right now because you're worried it's going to happen again, right? And the Queen of Swords popped out to clarify that. Check out that bad boy. Ooh, well, as a queen, but wow. So if this popped out to clarify who or what, it could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but it also could just be somebody who is really logical, who's really like what I'm feeling here, to be honest with you. Queen of Swords is conversations, internal, like, you know, like I said before, like with that snapping because it's a trigger, but she's more inward about it, right? So sometimes it could be like the way you talk to yourself, like the negative thoughts that the way you beat up on yourself in your head, not out, like, you know, in your own head when you're like, oh God, I'm such an idiot, why did I say that? You know, like stuff like that, like that story you tell yourself that's not good. But this is upright, right? So this is logic and communication, being very good with it, right? And then if this is something someone did that was nasty, because it's in the reverse in the past, tied to this nostalgia, this reuniting waterhole, this past thing coming back up again, somebody did something nasty because they were being manipulative, okay? Because it was upright, logical, being good at communication, right? Like good communication, coming off logical, because they know internally what they're doing, and they're communicating well, but it's manipulation. When it's over the King of Swords reverse, that's what led them to be nasty, or it to end up nasty. And it's what knocked you down. It made you feel like you didn't know what to do with that King of Wands reverse. So, I mean, that could clarify for you maybe like with whatever past situation that you're kind of overwhelmed or confused or worried to, you know, get screwed over again with, right? Or get hurt again. But you feel led to do it. You feel led to meddle into that environment or situation again, or relationship. Like something's keeping you going there. Like it's like, all right, you got to come back and do it. And I feel like maybe it's time now. Maybe they've grown, or maybe they've learned, or something, they've integrated whatever was causing them to be manipulative. And I feel like it's going to be better because this is going to be level. This is going to be equal. It's going to be manageable. It's not going to be what it was before. Otherwise, you wouldn't be pushed to go back and be confused why. Like, oh, do I want to be hurt again? Like, what am I thinking? No, this is real. This is a major arcana. This is your intuition nudging you back there because there's something in there, even though it's scary. And I feel like the first time around, you know, whatever it was, it just wasn't time yet, okay? And I think that it is now, okay? Otherwise, the seed wouldn't have been planted and you wouldn't have that inner knowing to do this, but still feel scared and overwhelmed and confused, worried that you're being lied to, right? I think that you're going to get information very quickly after you get through this shadow, which you're doing now. So honestly, I mean, it's hard to even give advice to that because it seems like you've got the High Priestess here, and I mean, she speaks for herself. That's that inner knowingness that you don't have to search for. It is there, and you can't explain it, okay? So go with that because it's leading you to something very good. It's leading wish fulfillment. Like, you know what you want. You already know what you want, but you're confused by and scared to get hurt again. And you're going to do this. It's going to be good. You're already here. You've already gone in. That's the worst part of it, okay? Because once you get that first little part of that shadow integrated, it starts feeling lighter and lighter and lighter as you go, okay? And you find gold along the way too, so don't forget that. You find gold because it tears down things around it when it goes into suppression. So this is awesome. I really hope this resonated. Please share if it does, because this is fun reading. I mean, not probably for you. I mean, I'm sorry that came off that way, but I love when people already know what they want and you do. And so now it's just dealing with the stuff around it that's been keeping you from seeing what to do, you know? So this is fun. I like it. I like the High Priestess, and I like that the Eight of Wands was the end card, as long as everything stays as is right now. And I think that people that are willing to do the work are rewarded very well for it when they do. It's just not easy, okay? Nothing ever great comes easy. You know, you've got to go into the dark to find the gold that it's hidden away with it. You know, otherwise, why would anybody do it? You know, it's like incentive, because there's stuff there that if you already went through this cycle once and you know what you want, but you seem blocked, well, that's probably because part of whatever the answer for it is, it's hiding in the shadow, and you got to go into the dark to see it. So congratulations for facing whatever aspect it is that isn't easy. And I know it isn't, because that Seven of Cups, it's like overwhelming emotionally, right? So hang in there, and I send you all the love and support that you need and would want to receive. And please give this a thumbs up, and I'll see you around. I'll see you next month. Okay, Taurus? Thanks.